Alright guys, so I'm on the search for the perfect vlogging setup, and I think I found it. Stick around. Welcome back guys. So we got a lot to talk about today. So, as I said earlier, I'm on the search for the perfect vlogging setup. I've went through several different setups trying to figure out which is going to be the best one for me in relation to a number of things. So I'm going to go ahead and go over some of those things now that were on my list that the camera had to do for me. Okay, so first off is there had to be extremely good stabilization. No one wants to see shaky footage when watching a vlog. The next thing is I wanted it the highest image quality while still keeping it at a small file size, which is relatively tough to find as well. So I also wanted something that I could add an external microphone to. So all these things were kind of limiting a lot of cameras. So the cameras that I went ahead and tested was the Canon M50, which is a entry-level mirrorless camera. I tried the Sony Zv1, which is marketed by Sony as a vlogging camera. I went ahead and tried the Canon 80D. I tried the Canon 90D. And I also tried what I'm shooting on right now, which is the Dji Osmo Action. So with that being said, guys, after trying all these different setups, I went ahead and made a decision on which one I thought was going to be the best one for my use case scenario. So another thing that I had to keep in mind was that I'm just starting vlogging, so it's kind of, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but it's a kind of nerve-wracking to bring out your camera around a lot of people, because then it just instantly everybody's staring at you, and you're bringing making a spectacle of yourself in a way, which you pretty much have to block that out. If you're constantly thinking about everybody around you looking at you, you're never going to be able to capture what you're trying to say in a good way, if that came through the right way on camera. Anyways, guys, so with that being said, I went ahead and brought out the Canon 90D in front of, or I should say, at a grocery store, and man, the looks were crazy. Like, I literally had people, either they were avoiding the camera behind me, so while I was filming myself, they would turn down an aisle or turn this way to make sure they weren't in the video behind me, or they would just straight flat just stop and stare. So even though the image quality was extremely good on the 90D, and that was the reason that I used it, also because of the dual pixel autofocus, it's just a big, I don't know, it's kind of a hassle, not only because of the people, looking at me strangely, but also it's extremely heavy. So that's something else you got to keep in mind. If you're going to do daily vlogs and carry this around with you all day, keep in mind how heavy the rig is going to be. All right. Now, on top of that 90D, I had the Video Mic Go, which is exactly what I have on top of the DJI Osmo Action right now, recording this audio. So it did make it look even bigger. So again, keep in mind how you're going to feel out in public when you're vlogging. Okay, so that kind of shot the 90D and the 80D out of being the best vlogging setup for me, and that was because, once again, it was too big and bulky, it was heavy, and I think the only two good things that came out of the 80D and the 90D that I really liked and I'm missing already, one is the battery life. The battery life's excellent on the 80D and 90D, and also the video quality. The video quality is excellent on both of those cameras as well. So you kind of have to compromise on what you want for what you can get from a particular camera. So with the 80D and the 90D being pretty much out of the way in a sense, I mean, I still could definitely have that as a vlogging setup and just take it in places where a camera is more not such a big deal. So in other words, if we went to, let's say, the beach, everybody has a camera, so it wouldn't be a big deal, to whip out an 80D or a 90D and start filming myself and filming my surroundings. That would be something that's not out of the ordinary. But here in town, and hardly nobody vlogs here in my town, I think. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do any vlogs. So the next camera that I went ahead and tested out was the Canon M50. Alright guys, so I'm here at the park testing out the Canon M50. I have the 15 to 45 millimeter kit lens on, as well as the Video Mic Go. So I'm right here in the BMW 535, man. You already know what it is. The M package, sport package that is. So let's go ahead and check it out and see how this camera is going to do. Now once again, I do have the Video Mic Go on, so the noise should be there should be hardly any noise. So let's go check it out. So just a quick look at the scenery. Alright guys, so we got face tracking on, it appears, and we also have eye tracking, which is nice. We have the dual pixel autofocus here with the in 1080p. So we're not in 4K, although this camera can shoot 4K. We are in 1080p, so let me know the video quality and the audio quality. So this is how it's going to look and how it's going to sound at complete arm's length. So this is with my arm all the way stretched out. Looks like it's tracking pretty good. Looks like the stabilization is pretty good as well. Exposure looks good as well. So, but that is what I've come to expect from a Canon camera. Let's take a quick look behind me. So as you can see, we got the park. Take a little quick look. Now I did try out the Canon 90D as well as the 80D, and although both those cameras are extremely good cameras, I have to say that they're just too heavy. This mirrorless camera is excellent for vlogging. I'm trying to figure out if there's a better lens. I'm sure an ultra wide lens is going to be a lot better. This 15 to 45 millimeters seems pretty nice as well. Not too blurry in the background, however, that's not a problem when you're vlogging. So yeah, once again, I'm using the Video Mic Go, so the audio should sound really good. And I'm just sitting down here on a park bench, and so yeah guys, this might be the new setup right here. Thinking about keeping this camera and actually running with it. I really like the Canon Color Science. Now again, this is an excellent camera. It does have dual pixel autofocus. It does shoot 4K at 24 frames per second and 1080 at 60 frames per second. The problem I was having with the Canon M50 was it wasn't the weight. The battery life wasn't the greatest. The image quality was pretty decent. Alright guys, so now I'm testing out the low light capabilities here on the Canon M50. The sun's about to go down, so all that's lighting up the shot right now is the light that's in the park. We're back here at the park. You can see the lights changing. Exposure looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and walk off here into the grass. So now there basically isn't any light out here. It's just basically the light from the moon. So I can see that my face is being tracked, which is awesome. Again, we're using the GorillaPod 3K. Link will be in the video description. So yeah guys, this is how good it's gonna look at night. This is a really important test to me because I will be using the camera a lot at nighttime. I have to say I'm really surprised at how good the image quality looks in this low of light. Now I wasn't using 4K for two reasons. One is I don't think a vlog needs to be shot in 4K. And the second reason is it only, three reasons. So the second reason is going to be that it was only 4K at 24 frames. which I want to record a vlog in 30 at least, but possibly 60. And the other reason was because you lose the dual pixel autofocus in 4K. So the Canon M50 is really only good in 1080, which isn't a bad thing because, like I said, a vlog probably should only be shot in 1080. I mean, of course you can do 4K, and it's going to look cleaner. Obviously, that's 4 times the image quality. But the file sizes are kind of ridiculous to work with, and it's not really necessary. Alright, so the Canon M50 was good in some ways, and in other ways it wasn't. So the reason that I sent back the Canon M50 and didn't choose that as the best vlogging setup was because the battery life wasn't good enough for me. The image quality was okay, but still wasn't as good as it should be. And there was no option, or there was an option, I shouldn't say no option, there was an option to shoot in 4K, but without the dual pixel autofocus, it's almost useless in my opinion. Now, something that I forgot to mention about the Canon M50 is that I was using the kit lens, which if I'm not mistaken is the 16 to 55 millimeter lens, which was actually a decent focal length for vlogging. Now, obviously I could get a wider angle lens, which is another thing that I forgot to mention that I was looking for in a camera, is it needs to have a wide enough lens that you can see what's behind me rather than me just vlogging my face. Okay, so to all you vloggers out there, nobody wants to just look at your face. Everybody wants to see what's around you and what's happening in your vlog. So next up was the Sony Zv1, which again, Sony markets as a vlogging camera and a creator's camera. So the Sony Zv1 has some very awesome features. One of the things that, or two of the things that I think are the best features on the Sony Zv1 is, one is the background defocus mode is awesome. Now what that does is that overrides all your settings and puts your lens at a f1.8 aperture, therefore causing that bokeh effect behind you in the background, which is an awesome feature. The next thing that I think is an extremely awesome feature on the Sony Zv1 is the product showcase mode. So you can literally show something up to the screen, extremely close to the screen, and it'll focus immediately on that. And when I say immediately, I mean within seconds. When you pull that away and your camera goes to focus back on your face, it focuses back on your face in seconds. And this isn't an exaggeration. The Sony Zv1 has excellent autofocus. Now, some of the drawbacks. The battery life is horrible. So shooting 4K, it shoots 4K 30. Shooting 4K at 30 frames per second, I think I got an hour maybe. Which again is horrible if you're doing daily vlogs. Also, the focal length is less than ideal. So I don't have either of the screens flipped out on the M50 or the Zv1, so I'm kind of framing the shot just by looking at the lens. So let me know what you guys think at the stabilization and the audio quality as well. I'm pretty sure the audio quality is going to be a lot better on the Zv1 just because it's got an included dead cat on there. But again, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. The M50 is going to be about $300 cheaper. So, and it's also shoots 4K, but it only shoots 4K at 24 frames per second, which definitely can be an issue when it comes to vlogging. It should have a wider field of view though, so I'm using the 15 to 45 millimeter lens. Again, jump down in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. This is going to be a video that's going to help somebody actually get the best vlogging rig. So your comments are extremely important. They're going to help break down everybody's thoughts onto which one's actually going to be the better camera. The Sony Zv1 just didn't cut it for me. Now I could have used it, and I could actually have used all the cameras, right? I can use the 80D, I could use the 90D, I can use the M50, I could use the Sony Zv1. But again, all of them had their positives and negatives. And for me, the Sony Zv1 just wasn't worth the money for me. So the Sony Zv1's around $800. The Canon M50 is around $500, and the Canon 80D and the 90D were around, I want to say $1,300 to $1,400, and the DJI Osmo Action is around $350. Now, another camera that I also tested out that I'm going to be adding here inside of this particular video is the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Now, it has excellent video stabilization and also has a very nice wide angle lens. The microphones on the iPhone 11 Pro Max are also excellent. So again, I went ahead and tried that one as well to be a permanent vlogging camera. So I will give you the results of that as well in this video. So I went ahead and sent back the Sony Zv1. Again, I was not impressed with it. I wasn't really impressed with the M50. I was impressed with the 80D and 90D. However, again, it was extremely heavy and extremely cumbersome to carry around with you and bring out in public in just random spots. So those are the reasons that I didn't choose those. So let's go ahead and talk about the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Now, I did have some issues with the iPhone 11 Pro Max as well. Now, again, as I mentioned, it's an extremely good camera in terms of video quality. It does shoot 4K 60 in the rear camera and the front camera as well. It also has extremely good stabilization, and you get that excellent wide angle lens on the rear camera. So the problems I was having with that was that it took up a tremendous amount of storage recording at 4K 60 on a smartphone. The next thing was I was having a really hard time moving the files over to my computer. Even though I was able to plug my phone in, it still took a very long time, and a lot of times actually corrupted the file. I know I could also use AirDrop, which I tried as well, and it just kept disconnecting and never really sending over the file. I think I only got files over to my computer maybe 7 times out of 10 using AirDrop. So it just became an extremely big hassle. Even though I'm in the Apple ecosystem 100%, I have an iPad, I have a MacBook Pro, an iMac, an Apple Watch, an iPhone 11 Pro Max. It still was extremely hard to get those clips over at 4K 60 being that big of a file size. Now, that brought me back to the realization that I don't want to have to transfer something over a wire or over AirDrop to get my files over to my computer. I want to be able to pop out a memory card and put it in my computer and transfer files that way. It's just extremely reliable. So with that being said, guys, that brings me to the DJI Osmo Action. Now, this camera is excellent, guys. This is an extremely cheap camera. It's actually the cheapest camera out of all of the cameras that I'm mentioning today. It's the camera I'm shooting on right now. I'm shooting at 4K 60. I'm shooting with Rocksteady on, which obviously I don't need. I'm on a tripod. But I'm on a handheld tripod, which is actually part of my vlogging rig and setup, which I will show you guys in this video. So the stabilization is excellent on this camera. The image quality is excellent on this camera. The only thing that is a problem with this camera is the battery life. However, it does last a really long time, more than I expected it to last. Now, I could have gotten more batteries for the M50 or the Sony Zv1, but this is an excellent camera, guys. I didn't want to invest my money into extra batteries for those cameras when I felt like it didn't offer up everything. This camera offers everything. It offers 4K 60, right? It offers excellent stabilization. It offers an excellent wide angle lens. It's waterproof. You can add an external microphone. Again, I'm using the Rode Video Mic Go on the top of the DJI Osmo Action right now. I also have a cage put on here that allows me to add a tripod and extension pole to the DJI Osmo Action. Again, I will show you guys the setup that I'm using currently as my vlogging setup. So with that being said, guys, in my opinion, the DJI Osmo Action is one of the best, if not the best, vlogging cameras available. Now, I know the GoPro Hero 9 just came out. I'm interested to try that out. I don't know if it has any particular features that are better than the DJI Osmo Action. So I have to check that out. However, right now, in terms of what I want to pick up, grab, go, record, vlog my daily life, and get things done throughout my life and not have to worry about, do I want to pull this out right now in front of everybody? Do I want to carry this around everywhere I go? Is it going to be too heavy? You know, is my arm going to be tired at the end of the day? And it's just going to be more cumbersome than it is relaxing and enjoyable. And I mean, that's what vlogging should be, guys. Like, vlogging should be you capturing your day and capturing content. It shouldn't be you having to worry about, now my arm's tired. Should I pull this out in front of all these people? You really just need to get out there, push record, and get the footage and content out there on the internet. Alright guys, so this is me walking into the sun. So the video quality should probably look a little bit better now. Again, we are using the Dead Cat on top of the Video Micro. 4K 60 is in rock steady as well. We also are using an extension pole. So let me know how the stabilization is, how the audio is, as well as the video quality down in the comment section below. This is definitely a rig I could see myself using a lot. It's not heavy at all, and it isn't too shady. Now what I mean by that is it's not so big that people are going to be staring at me, so that's a good thing. So with that being said, guys, I highly recommend the DJI Osmo Action. It is my new vlogging camera. Again, I will have all the links down in the video description so you can purchase this particular setup that I'm using. And again, guys, I highly recommend it. You guys are going to definitely thank me later on when you see the video quality and you see how excellent everything turns out, when you see how lightweight it is, when you see how much you're going to want to grab it and take it with you rather than say, that's too heavy or that's in the way, I don't even want to take it. You're going to want to take it with you. You're going to capture some good content. You're going to have excellent image quality, great image stabilization, and you're also going to have a very good wide angle lens. So again, guys, I highly recommend the DJI Osmo Action. This has been my video on the best vlogging setup for 2020, in my opinion, and for even 2021. I do also recommend the Video Mic Go, also this cage that I'm using, as well as the extension pole and tripod. Again, links in the video description. My name's Aaron. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button for more content. Again, I am starting daily vlogs here on my channel. Or I don't know if they'll particularly be daily, but I am going to start uploading vlogs. I want to eventually get to making them daily. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next one.